Your Voice, Shropshire Disability Network Newsletter, July 2011. Putting on the Style. A fashionable fundraiser will be held on behalf of SDN on the 21st of July when All Care Agency stages a fashion show and sale, plus cheese and wine evening at Westbury Village Hall. This will be a rare opportunity to purchase end-of-line and surplus stock from high street stores. There will also be a makeup demonstration by an expert from Boots. Funds raised will buy equipment to provide printed copies of the online newsletter to those with no IT facilities, and also enable us to create a website video. Tickets are £6 and are available from All Care, weekdays on 01743 792 980 and speak on 07773 466 730 or SDN member Ruby Hartshorn on 01743 340 832. A word from your elusive patron. Greetings to all. I feel like we're developing a pen-pal relationship, which is better than none at all, but far from the close, active relationship I wish I had with you all and the progress of the network. When I took on the role of patron, I had big plans, great ideas of the ways in which I could provide support to the really vital work you're all doing in expanding the disability network. And then rheumatoid arthritis got in the way. Since I last spoke to you all, I've been fighting a seemingly non-stop battle with my condition, with constant hospital admissions and countless operations, as Jeff can vouch as one of my most faithful and regular hospital visitors. And isn't that a great illustration of battle we're all fighting every day? Not just fighting to get by like the man in the street, but doing so around disabilities which are, at best, inconvenient and at worst, life-limiting. That's why Shropshire Disability Network is so important and why I look forward to recovering from my recent medical lull enough to be of some use to you all very soon, and I'm happy to report that I am finally recovering. For the last 2 years, I, along with the doctors, believed I had what's called a multiple joint infection. I have multiple artificial joints and many of them were thought to be harbouring infection cells, so surgeons have resorted to removing several of them, along with much other metalwork like pins and plates I've had fitted to repair bones over the years. I've also been on a near-constant regime of IV antibiotics throughout this time in a vain bid to control the infection. But it seemed nothing worked, until we realised it wasn't an infection at all, but rejection instead. I've always been strongly allergic to some metals and unaware of the damage they were doing. Surgeons have spent the last 10 years filling me full of the very thing my body can't tolerate. The penny finally dropped for me when my poor beleaguered body started ejecting surgical pins and staples from the top of my foot. They just started popping out through the skin, and I realised it was my body saying, "Yuck, I don't want this, thanks." As soon as surgeons started removing their toxic payload, I started to recover, and I'm delighted and relieved to report that my surgical wounds are now all healed and happy. My IV central line used to pump huge amounts of antibiotics, dubbed medical domestos, into me for the last year or so, was finally removed yesterday, and I've been officially sent home and signed off from serious medical supervision for the next 4 weeks. So getting there at last. I might have come out the other side of this battle with no elbows, wobbly feet, a serious needle phobia, and one less index finger, but I'm counting my lucky stars I came out the other side at all. What's a few less body parts between friends? So please forgive my long absence, but know that I'm working my way back to you, slowly but surely, and looking forward very much to making up for lost time when I get there. Once again, wish I was there, but sending through Jeff my very best to all those who've managed to attend the meeting. Emma Suddaby, patron of the Shropshire Disability Network. Disabled could work for less pay, says MP. A Tory MP has suggested that people with disabilities should work for less than the minimum wage to increase their chances of getting jobs. Philip Davis told the Commons, if an employer is looking at 2 candidates, one who's got disabilities and one who hasn't, and they've got to pay them both the same rate, I invite you to guess which one the employer is more likely to take on. Given that some of these people with a learning disability clearly by definition cannot be as productive in their work as somebody who has not got a disability of that nature, then it was inevitable that given the employer was going to have to pay them both the same, they were going to take on the person who was going to be more productive, less of a risk. My view is that for some people the national minimum wage may be more of a hindrance than a help. If those people who consider it being a hindrance to them, and in my view that's some of the most vulnerable people in society, if they feel that for a short period of time, taking a lower rate of pay to help them get their first rung on the jobs ladder, if they judge that that's a good thing, I don't see why we should be standing in their way. Davis has a history of making controversial statements out of sync with his party's high command. A Conservative Party spokesman said, "These comments do not reflect the views of the Conservative Party and do not reflect government policy." In the debate, Davis was challenged over his remarks by fellow Tory MP Edward Lee, who told him, "Why actually should a disabled person work for less than £5.93 an hour? It's not a lot of money, is it?" But Davis said criticism of his remarks was left-wing hysteria. This is an edited version taken from The Guardian on the 17th of June. What's That Grommet? A film about MS Society. Aardman director Darren Robbie, a lead animator on the film Chicken Run, has produced a short animated film for the MS Society. It powerfully depicts the reality of living with multiple sclerosis. The charity hopes that the 35-second film, launched during MS Week in May, will have a viral effect and help raise awareness and funds. The film encourages people to visit the MS Society's website, mapms.org.uk, where visitors can record their own films and join the new research tool MS Register. Robbie, who has directed almost 50 commercials for a wide variety of companies, made the film for free for the MS Society in memory of his sister, who died as a result of complications relating to MS a couple of years ago. Such a film would normally cost tens of thousands of pounds to produce. The film uses a busy workplace as a metaphor for the human brain to educate people about how the condition affects human motor function. Instead of workers, we see different body parts losing their jobs and being fired, to represent the way body functions can unexpectedly be lost or impaired through MS. This has been taken from the UK fundraising website, www.fundraising.co.uk/news/Ardman-director-produces-film-MS-week. Hate crimes against disabled are being ignored by police. The police are ignoring hate crimes against people with disabilities, according to a report from MENCAP. It claims disabled people are being left to suffer violence, harassment and abuse because police efforts to tackle disability hate crime are failing. The report, Don't Stand By, says many police forces do not understand the crimes and do not have strategies in place to tackle them. The study was carried out with the help of 14 police forces across England. It cites examples where low-level harassment was ignored by police and escalated into sustained abuse with fatal consequences. These include the deaths of Fiona Pilkington and her disabled daughter Francesca Hardwick in 2007 and David Askew in 2010. Di Lofthouse, 41, who has suffered hate crime because of her learning disability, says the police treated her as a nuisance. "I was suicidal. We had a letter put through our letterbox saying people like us should be put down at birth. We had our windows put through, and it got to the point where I couldn't sleep at night. I used to sleep in the day when they were not around. I found it very difficult to report the crimes when they happened, because no one seemed to want to listen." There are 1.5 million people with a learning disability in the UK. It is thought as many as 9 out of 10 people are verbally harassed or exposed to violence due to their disability. Mark Goldring, MENCAP's chief executive, said it's a huge problem which is underreported and under-recognised. Low-level harassment is devastating for individuals when it's over a continued period of time. MENCAP wants police forces to build on best practice and work more closely with social services in order to tackle the problem. A Home Office spokesman said police are now recording hate crime data centrally. This will help the police to target resources more effectively and better protect victims. This is an edited version taken from Sky News on the 20th of June. Blue-Eyed Soul dances back. Blue-Eyed Soul Dance Group, which recently lost its Arts Council grant, has teamed up with Transit Tricks Dance Group to form Envision, bringing together disabled and able-bodied young dancers aged 12 to 18 from different backgrounds and of different abilities. The Telford-based dance group is learning street dance and contemporary creative dance moves in preparation for a performance in Telford Town Park as part of the Telford Cultural Fest on the 23rd of July at 12:30. Remaining practice sessions are on the 3rd, 10th and 17th of July from 1:30 till 3 p.m. at the Hadley Learning Community Dance Studio. Sessions cost £3 for disabled participants and £4.50 for able-bodied. To book, you can contact Moya at the Blue-Eyed Soul office on 01743 210 830, or you can email admin@besdance.com. The website is www.blueeyedsouldance.com. SDN's General Meeting on June the 9th. Jeff Forgy welcomed everyone to the 12th General Meeting, marking 3 years in existence for Shropshire Disability Network. He had some encouraging news from our patron, Emma Suddaby. The doctors have discovered she has an allergy to her many metal joint replacements, and this has been the apparent cause of the countless infections she's endured over many years. They're gradually replacing these metal units, and as a result, healing is taking place. Emma sends her best wishes as always. Moving AGM. At this time last year, we held our second AGM. As the closeness to our year end, which is the end of May, put too much pressure on our treasurer and accountants, we've moved the AGM from now on to September. As we'll be re-electing officers as usual, anyone interested in joining our steering group is invited to contact Jeff or Secretary Dave Hewitson. Jeff announced that, largely due to reasons of health, he will not be standing for re-election as chair, however would stay on the steering group. Wavelength. Anne Johnson, head of our employment subgroup, has together with the group launched a new company called Wavelength to take forward the work of the subgroup. Wavelength is a new, innovative, not-for-profit social marketing company. Their aim is to link up support organisations within Shropshire to collectively help increase and improve employment opportunities for people with disabilities. Watch this space, the waves are getting bigger. Ruby Hartshorn has been doing a brilliant job as our publicity officer and has SDN appearing in the press or on radio at least once a week. Trevor Dickinson has been doing a great job updating events on our website and has taken on the role of marketing officer. To assist us with the enormous amount of work, we're planning to seek funding for a part-time SDN coordinator, together with office space for the coordinator and 2 volunteers. Publicity. Ruby gave an update on publicity and related fundraising efforts. We're getting weekly mentions in the Shropshire Star at the moment, as well as the other press and radio coverage. This all helps to get our name across to people. Ruby has a list of media contacts, but is always keen to have more. If anyone knows of people she can contact about our events, please tell her. She would rather be told twice than not at all. Likewise, please tell her if you can offer to put information out. It all helps if we work together. You can contact Ruby at rby-hartshorn@yahoo.co.uk or on 01743 340 832. Fundraising. Recent events included the 19th of March street collection in the Darwin Centre, Shrewsbury, raised £302.64. On the 10th of April, the Walk and Roll raised £740.05. Feedback seems to be saying, let's make it bigger, greater and better next year. We had fun. You can also have fun by joining us and helping to make Shropshire Disability Network a household name in Shropshire. The 30th of April, street collection in Telford Centre raised £121.09. While primarily these are fundraisers, we are also making people aware of SDN. We really need more helpers for our next collection in the Shrewsbury Darwin Centre on the 17th of September. Please contact Dave Hewitson or Trevor Dickinson if you can spare even an hour. It will be much appreciated. You can contact Dave on davidhewitson@talktalk.net, on 01743 247 019, or Trevor at trevor.dickinson@talktalk.net, or on 01952 261146. Marketing. Trevor Dickinson, our marketing officer, invited members to get in touch with any ideas or suggestions about how we can promote the Disability Network in our community as the place in Shropshire for disability information and the voice representing people with disability in Shropshire. You can contact Trevor at trevor.dickinson@talktalk.net or on 01952 261146. Treasurer's Report. Tom Memory said the current bank balance is £5,750, of which £1,585 is uncommitted. We've had 2 grants, one of £720 for outreach projects and one of £2,500 to provide a signposting service via our website. The next meeting will be the AGM on Thursday the 8th of September at the Mearside Community Centre, Sutton Farm in Shrewsbury. Coming soon, a fashion show plus cheese and wine at Westbury Village Hall on the 21st of July, organised by All Care Shropshire, which is donating all proceeds to SDN. Ladies' fashion will be available at 50% or less of high street prices. It will be a great evening. Disability Challenge. Harry Boys recently retired from the RAF and was introduced at the meeting. Harry's agreed to manage our Disability Challenge, where teams of 10 to 12 people from organisations such as the Army, Air Force, rugby clubs, the police, fire service, etc., carry a person in a wheelchair approximately 6k over a challenging course on the Longmynd. The tentative date is June next year.